Dear students, as per your syllabus, some of the bioassay we have to learn. So the number one bioassay I am selecting over here, that is the histamine. So histamine bioassay, already what is bioassay and what are the types of bioassay, this class is over. I think it is very much clear to you. Now in this histamine bioassay, we should know what is the histamine. So whenever you are going to write the bioassay of a particular topic, you should know what is this topic or what is this drug or what is this chemical. Otherwise you cannot understand what is the meaning of bioassay and how you are going to biologically establish that chemical. What is histamine? It is an autocoats. So autocoats are called as local hormone. So remember that histamine is one of the inflammatory mediators in our body. Okay. So whatever the allergic or inflammatory condition they are going to get produced, one of the main component to produce all these indications is histamine. So in these histamines, we are going to find out how we are going to find out the concentration of histamine or whether it is going to show the histaminergic activity or not. So best method of this histamine is you may take number one method, that is the GUI Guinea pig tracheal chain. What is this? Remember that guinea pig is very sensitive to the histamine because they are allergic. So what we are going to take? We are selecting the animal is guinea pig. So our heading is guinea pig tracheal chain method. Okay. What we are doing? This is the model number 1. Okay. This is the model number 1. So on that animal we are taking guinea pig. Okay. You may take unisex and the weight should be 250 gram and above. Okay. So this animal, when you will collect this, okay, so this is the animal, this is perfect for our bioassay of histamine. Now what is the principle behind this? I told you guinea pig is highly sensitive to histamine. That's why we are selecting the guinea pig, and histamine is autocoats. It is responsible for our allergic reaction. That's why we are going to assess the standard or the concentration or the quality of the histamine by using animal is guinea pig. Okay, this is the principle. Now we are going to, the procedure is we are going to sacrifice the animal. We have to isolate the tracheal chain, trachea. Okay, so what is this trachea? Trachea is all half C chain. Okay, so I told you previous, you know very nicely. So they are half C chain. Cut all the C. Okay, so C is, that is a incomplete bone structure, but the partially the rest area it is made up with smooth muscle. Okay, so take out this ring and you should tie off. So what it will happen? You will make a chain by using the tracheal portion. So you are going to get a chain which is made up with tracheal portion. So now this tracheal portion has to be this particular portion you will bind up, you will tie up or you will mount in your kymograph. This is called as tracheal chain. Means that you have to sacrifice the guinea pig, you have to isolate the trachea, you have to cut out the ring from the trachea, all that rings you have to bind, so a chain it will produce. This chain you will mount in your kymograph, and now different concentration of histamine you give. So one of the standard concentration of histamine you are having, as we have discussed in the previous class. So you will get a standard DRC, then take the unknown concentration. You make interpolation method of bioassay. If you want to perform better activity, you can go for 3-point bioassay. So whatever it may be, you can come to the what is the unknown concentration of histamine. So this is the model number 1. Model number 2, we can take this. This is what is this? Next, Model number 2 is guinea pig ileum preparation. Okay, the principle is same here. What is this principle? I told you, histamine is an autocoax. It is responsible for our allergic or inflammatory reactions. So we are going to find out the potency of histamine by using the animal which is very sensitive to the histamine. Here the animal we have taken is guinea pig. One second. But here the means organ we are isolating, that is different. What we are doing, procedure is we are sacrificing the guinea pig. We are taking or isolating the ileum of guinea pig. That ileum has to be cut out, and we should 2 to 3 centimeter of the ileum we will mount in the chymograph. We will take the DRC of histamine standard and one unknown concentration. Whatever the unknown, you have to find out the concentration of histamine. You will go and you will find out that. So then you compare by, as I told previously, you may go for 3-point bioassay, you may go for 6-point bioassay, or you may go for interpolation method of bioassay. The ultimate motto is to find out the concentration of histamine, because you are doing the bioassay of histamine. I think it is clear to you. So the first bioassay which means we are going to learn here, that is the histamine bioassay. Whenever you are going to find out that bioassay, you should mention that which model you are following, under that which animal you are taking, what is the principle of this bioassay, and what are the procedure you are following. So principle means what is the reasoning, means why you are doing this activity and why you are performing this model. Okay, so that is the principle. Okay, and procedure means what actually you are going to perform. So in that histamine bioassay, we found two model. Number one, that is the guinea pig tracheal chain method, and number two, that is the guinea pig ileum preparation. But both of the cases similarity is animal is guinea pig, only the difference is their organ. So in the first model we are taking tracheal chain, in the second model we are taking, what is this, ileum. Okay, so this is about the bioassay of histamine. Next, we should learn about the bioassay of insulin. Prior to start about that model, I'll go for two models. Okay, so prior to start about that models, you should know what is insulin. Insulin is a hormone which is going to reduce our blood sugar level, or which is basically not reduce, I should not tell reduce, which is going to control our blood sugar level in an optimum range. In our normoglycemic person who don't have any hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia, in this situation we can tell insulin is working nicely or insulin is balancing nicely. Whatever the sugar you are ingesting, it is automatically from your bloodstream, it is going inside of your cell. You should know whatever the sugar we are consuming, that sugar it will get dispersed off, and small particles of sugar it will run to your blood vessel. So if it will run, automatically the concentration of blood it will become thicker and you will face lots of problem. Lots of problem means your osmotic pressure of the blood it will alter, and lots of problems it will change your full physiological phenomena, and you are going to face the condition that is called as diabetes. What the insulin is doing? Insulin is ultimately rotating the receptor that is called as glucose transporter. Okay, means it is insulin is binding with the insulin receptor and ultimately it is rotating a cycle. This cycle it is called as GLUT1, GLUT4, glucose transporter. So this glucose transporter it is present in the cell wall. So when this glucose transporter it will rotate, automatically what it will happen, suppose this is the cell and here the glucose transporter are there. So this glucose transporter will bind with one of the glucose, then it will rotate, the glucose will come inside of the cell, and once again it will get empty and it will free for the next binding. This is the purpose of glucose transporter. So how this glucose transporter is moving? Lots of mechanism is there, but I am not going to share all these things now. So remember that this is moving due to insulin. Insulin is binding with that receptor. That's why this is potentiating the moving of your glucose transporter. If glucose transporter will not move, what it will happen? From here, the glucose from the blood circulation, it will not come inside of the cell. Inside of the cell, it will come and it will store as a source of energy. Whenever it's required, it will break down. Okay, so we are going to find out the bias of insulin, means the activity of insulin we are going to find out. So remember that two different thinkings are there. Suppose if you are going to find out the potency of insulin, first of all you have to make your subject or your on which you are means finding whether it is having the it is going to produce the insulin like activity or not. That animal or the subject should be hyperglycemic. Otherwise, here how come you will know that it is going to produce the action? Because insulin reduces the sugar level. So if you are applying on the normotensive animal, you have to check whether the sugar level is going to the below to the normal. So it's better you take the diabetic animal and you apply insulin, and you find out what is the sugar level, where the sugar level is going. Okay, so this is we are performing how we are performing this model. Number one, that is called as rat model. Rat model. Albino Wistar rat we are taking here, and we are making this rat diabetic by using alloxan. Alloxan. Okay, we are injecting alloxan to the rat. So prior injecting, your rat should be tested for glucose level. The blood, from the blood you have to find out the glucose level, then you inject the alloxan. After injecting the alloxan, you once again check, okay, after 24 hours you check and find out whether the rat became hyperglycemic or not. If the rat became hyperglycemic, you can select that animal. Which rat has failed to become hyperglycemic, reject this. So hyperglycemic rats now we will take, and on that hyperglycemic rats, one group you don't give any drug, and another one group what you have to do, you have to inject the insulin. Okay, so after injecting the insulin, every after 30 minutes you go on checking whether the glucose level it is decreasing or not. Definitely, what is the control group? They have not received any insulin. That's why their sugar level will not fall down. And in your test group, you have given that your insulin, so definitely you will start falling down your sugar level. So this is the number one method, that is the rat model. If you are performing the same model, you can perform in rabbit. Okay, rabbit. So here rabbit don't get diabetic by using alloxan. Alloxan only applicable in the case of rat. So rabbit better response in the presence of streptozotocin. Streptozotocin. Okay. So you have to inject the streptozotocin to the rabbit. Same like previous process. You have to take the animal, rabbit, adult rabbit. So this rabbit has to be injected with streptozotocin. After after a stipulated period of time, you have to find out whether this rabbit has become diabetic or not. If it has become diabetic, select that rabbit. divide into two groups. One group, don't give any treatment. Second group, you give the treatment of insulin. Find out the glucose level is falling down or not, or which concentration it is falling down. So two different models of insulin we have studied. Okay, so the next we are going to find out, that is the oxytocin. You know oxytocin, in the previous lab I have discussed with the batch A. Okay, so this is oxytocin means, I told you this is a hormone and it is a female hormone which is going to produce the contraction in your uterus. So it is going to produce the labor. One of the most essential hormone which is producing the labor. So habitual miscarriage, what is there? The responsible element is oxytocin. So oxytocin, the work of this is contraction. Okay. So now what models we can perform? Number one models you can take. This oxytocin is bioassay of oxytocin by using rat uterus preparation. Okay. So this is the model. Rat uterus preparation. So here what animal you are taking? Albino oyster rat. But sex is important over here. The female. We have to take the female and the young adult female. Don't take very much adult female. Okay? Young adult female you have to select. Then what is the principle? Principle means, I told you oxytocin, what I told just now. Oxytocin is a hormone which is responsible for the contraction in the uterus. Okay, so we are going to select some of the subject on which we can find out the activity of oxytocin. If you are going to find out the activity of oxytocin on male rat, it will produce the very little action on none. Okay, so in the female rat only it can produce. In the still also it is in the uterus, because it produces the contraction in uterus but not in the stomach. So if you are taking the stomach portion to find out the bioassay of rat oxytocin, it is the bioassay will go to the drain. Okay, so this is the animal we discussed. Then we found out the whatever the principle is there. Now the procedure. Procedure already I have discussed, means in previous practical, but section B or you also might have done that practical. What you have to do? You have to take the animal, you have to sacrifice the animal, isolate the uterus and take out two of the horns. Okay, these horns you mount in your apparatus. Which apparatus? In the kymograph. Kymograph you have seen in the lab. Okay, in kymograph what it will happen? The whatever the organ bath is there, on that organ bath you mount your tissue. Okay, tissue means what is this? Uterine horn. 2 to 3 centimeter of the uterine horn strip you take this and you bind with your J tube. Okay, so here another one, what is this thread? It will be there. This thread will get binded with your liver. So if this will get contracted, I taught you contraction, muscle contraction means muscle will become shorter. If this will become shorter, what it will happen? This thread will pull this lever. So what it will happen? Whenever this thread will pull this lever, here you are going to get a high peak. If this contraction will be more, the peak will be high. If the contraction will be less, means the muscle length is not decreasing, then the peak will be short, because it is not pulling this side. This is the lever. If you will pull this side, so what it will happen? This side will go up. So you are going to get a, if there is a pulling, it will go up and you will get a long graph like this. Okay, the high graph peak will be high. So these things is happening. So this is the very easy method. Okay, already we have done in the practical. Okay, now remember that you can go for, once again I am telling you can go for interpolation method or 3-point bioassay method, whatever it may be. But ultimately we have to find out the concentration of oxytocin. Okay, 3-point bioassay method means points will be there, as I have discussed in the previous class, S1, S2, T. By following this 9 models, 9 extra graphs you have to draw. And if interpolation method means standard DRC you have to plot, and unknown concentration you have to plot. By that sigmoid curve you are going to find out the concentration. Got my point? So this is about the oxytocin bioassay. So today we have discussed about 3 bioassay technique. Number 1, histamine. In histamine we found 2 models. Okay, one is tracheal chain and another one guinea pig tracheal chain, and another one is guinea pig. What is this? Ileum. And next we have found out the bioassay of insulin. There also we found 2 models. One is rat, where we have used the alloxan, and one is rabbit model, where we have used the streptozotocin. And last one we have found, that is the oxytocin bioassay. Here in this oxytocin bioassay, the models you are going to follow is 3-point bioassay method. This is the best method, and along with that you have to take the rat uterine strip. Remember that the physiological salt solution you are using over is Krebs-Henselt solution. Krebs-Henselt solution is best for rat uterine strip method. Okay, so today up to this much. Take care, be safe. We'll meet in the next class.